Tonight, a significant crisis is unfolding in our skies, capturing the attention of travelers and industry experts alike. The air travel landscape is facing unprecedented challenges. The ongoing government shutdown has forced the Federal Aviation Administration to implement a mandatory 10% reduction in flights at 40 of the nation's busiest airports. This drastic measure is a direct response to the current situation. The root cause of this decision is a severe shortage of air traffic controllers. These essential workers are now operating without pay, stretched to their limits, and facing immense pressure to maintain safety standards. Starting this Friday, the reduction aims to prevent the aviation system from reaching a critical breaking point. However, it also means immediate and widespread disruption for countless travelers, who will face delays and cancellations. The FAA's decision serves as a stark warning to all. Political gridlock is now directly threatening the safety and stability of our entire aviation network. The implications are far-reaching and concerning. From Anchorage to Miami, the impact will be felt coast to coast. Thousands of flights are expected to be canceled, creating a ripple effect that will be felt across the entire airline industry, affecting both domestic and international travel. For travelers, this situation ushers in a new era of uncertainty. Checking your flight status has become more crucial than ever, as plans can change at a moment's notice. The message from the FAA is clear. Emergency measures are urgently needed to prevent the system from failing entirely. The aviation industry is at a critical juncture, and decisive action is required to navigate these turbulent times. The FAA's mandate hits the nation's busiest airports, from Seattle and Portland to Atlanta, LAX, and Chicago O'Hare. These hubs are vital links for both domestic and international travel, and their reduced capacity will disrupt millions. Even Alaska's Ted Stevens Anchorage International is affected, highlighting how essential air travel is for remote communities. The interconnectedness of the system means a staffing shortage in one place can cause delays everywhere. Major airports now face crowded terminals, longer lines, and frustrated passengers as they scramble to adapt. The shutdown's effects are now tangible at every major airport, turning travel into a stressful ordeal for millions. The crisis isn't limited to major airports. Regional hubs are feeling the pain too. Disruptions at big airports like Phoenix and Seattle cascade down to smaller airports, stranding passengers far from the headlines. Redmond Municipal Airport in Oregon, for example, has already seen cancellations due to staffing shortages at connecting hubs. For smaller communities, a single canceled flight can mean missed business, family events, or medical appointments. The shutdown's impact is spreading like a virus, reaching even the most remote corners of the country. At the heart of this crisis are federal employees, dedicated men and women who keep our nation's airports running smoothly every single day, often without recognition or thanks. Air traffic controllers and TSA agents are among the most affected, responsible for the safety and security of millions of travelers, yet now facing an uncertain future. These essential workers have been working without pay since October 1st, showing up for their shifts despite not knowing when or if they'll receive their next paycheck. The stress is mounting, not just at work but at home, as many are forced to make impossible choices between their jobs and their family's financial security. Some are dipping into savings, others are taking on second jobs, and many are struggling to pay basic bills like rent and groceries. This pressure isn't just personal, it's a direct threat to aviation safety. As focus and morale erode, the risk of mistakes increases, putting both workers and travelers in jeopardy. Sickouts and resignations are rising, leading to longer security lines, more flight delays, and a growing sense of frustration among the traveling public. The ripple effects are being felt nationwide, from missed connections to canceled vacations. One TSA agent put it simply, "We're expected to protect the country, but who is protecting our families?" This sentiment echoes across the workforce as employees feel abandoned and unsupported. The FAA's flight cuts are a band-aid, not a solution. Reducing flights may ease immediate pressure, but it doesn't address the root problem: a workforce pushed to the brink, exhausted and demoralized. The longer the shutdown drags on, the greater the risk to the entire system. If this continues, the consequences could be severe, not just for workers and travelers, but for the safety and reliability of air travel itself. Airlines now face the daunting task of cutting 10% of flights, a move that is sending shockwaves through the entire travel industry. This unprecedented reduction is not just a logistical challenge. It's a test of flexibility and resilience for both airlines and passengers alike. As airlines scramble to adjust, the ripple effects are being felt at every level, from airport operations to individual travel plans. To minimize chaos and confusion, major carriers are consolidating routes, merging flights, and prioritizing those with higher demand to ensure planes fly as full as possible. This means fewer options for travelers, but it helps airlines manage resources more efficiently during this turbulent period. However, the options for travelers are shrinking fast. Passengers should brace for last-minute changes, unexpected delays, and much fuller planes than usual. Flexibility and patience will be essential, as the situation remains fluid and unpredictable. Airlines are relying heavily on digital communication, sending real-time updates through email and mobile apps. Staying connected and checking notifications frequently is now more important than ever for travelers hoping to stay ahead of disruptions. Some airlines, like Breeze Airways, are less affected by the turmoil because they focus on smaller regional airports that are not as congested or dependent on major hubs. Their unique business model offers a rare advantage in these challenging times. But for most airlines, especially those operating out of busy hub airports, the scramble to comply with new regulations is intense. The crisis is exposing just how vulnerable hub-and-spoke networks can be when disruptions hit on a large scale. Customer service teams are being pushed to their limits, dealing with frustrated and anxious travelers seeking answers and alternatives. The ability of airlines to communicate clearly and respond quickly is being tested like never before. Ultimately, the fate of most travelers now rests in the hands of overworked airline schedulers and staff who are working around the clock to keep operations running as smoothly as possible. The coming days will reveal just how resilient or fragile the entire airline system truly is, and whether it can adapt to this extraordinary challenge. Redmond Municipal Airport in Central Oregon is a case study in the shutdown's ripple effects. Though not on the FAA's list, it's already seeing cancellations due to staff shortages at major hubs. Airport officials warn travelers to expect more disruptions, longer lines, and to check flight status constantly. As major carriers cut flights, Redmond risks becoming isolated from the rest of the country. The lesson: no community is immune. Problems anywhere in the system quickly become problems everywhere. Redmond's struggle mirrors a national crisis, showing how dysfunction in Washington grounds flights and disrupts lives nationwide. The shutdown's toll goes far beyond delayed flights. It's a human crisis for federal workers and travelers alike. Essential employees face financial hardship, working without pay while trying to keep the system safe. The stress is palpable, with air traffic controllers and TSA agents struggling to focus under mounting pressure. For travelers, especially during the holidays, plans are thrown into chaos and uncertainty. The shutdown's effects are seeping into other public services, from news media to essential infrastructure. This isn't just an aviation crisis, it's a societal one, touching every American in some way. The ripple effect of hardship and uncertainty grows with each passing day. As flight cancellations mount, the shutdown becomes political ammunition, with both sides blaming each other for the chaos. Real-world consequences are now fodder for political ads and partisan messaging, leaving the public caught in the crossfire. The focus has shifted from solutions to spin, making it harder for travelers and workers to get clear information. Independent journalism is more vital than ever, But even public media faces funding threats from the shutdown. Americans are left waiting for leaders to act, stuck in limbo as the crisis drags on. The national mood is one of frustration. Everyone is waiting for a resolution that seems out of reach. With no end in sight, travelers must be proactive and flexible. Check your flight status repeatedly, sign up for alerts, and prepare for delays with snacks, water, and a power bank. Arrive earlier than usual. Lines will be longer and schedules less reliable. Know your rights. Airlines must rebook you, but options may be limited. Be patient and persistent with airline staff. They're under pressure too. If possible, postpone non-essential travel until the crisis passes. The situation remains volatile. Deeper cuts could come if the shutdown continues. For now, vigilance and preparation are your best tools. Pack your patience and hope for a swift end to the gridlock.